Guys, Black Slice here today with another discussion video on 10 reasons why Kingdom Hearts 3 was disappointing. Just to be clear, I actually enjoyed the game. I played through it 3 times, twice in Proud, once in Critical Mode, and somehow in Critical Mode I managed to get the Ultimate Weapon, but in Proud I didn't, so that's kind of weird for me. Anyways, the thing is, as a fan, I feel able to see where I guess my favorite game would fall short. And I hear people's arguments coming from, so I want to actually voice these arguments and see what you guys think about them. Anyways, here we go. Awakening was brought to be a huge thing in Kingdom Hearts 3. The point of the Disney and Pixar worlds were to help Sora get back the power of awakening. But at the end of the day, those worlds didn't do anything for him. Perfect example? Hermitical Woods. You play one minigame 3 times. Fruits, vegetables, and flowers. And then you call it a day. The only purpose of that world is to tell Pooh to stop feeling lonely, and that we're always with him in his heart. I think we could have done without that world in the game. Honestly, in Critical Mode, since I already had the Honey Spouter thanks to the New Game Plus, I completely forgot to visit Merlin after I beat, I think it's Rapunzel's world, the Tangled world. I forgot what it's called. But after I played through that world, I completely forgot to visit him, so I just kind of skipped it, and I honestly have no intention of going back. Maybe one day I'll go back to get the lucky emblems there, but I have no other reason for going back there. Now the rest of the worlds, aside from the Disney and Pixar characters in some way burning and wrecking the organization, it's mind-blowing how Witty just destroyed young Xehanort and said, "No one's ever loved you." Imagine how much that would destroy someone who actually feels that way. Oh gosh. And then Sully just destroys Vanitas. It was terrible. I'm sorry that I emphasized it that way. That actually came out kind of nasty. Vanitas. Ew. Anyways, other than that, the worlds were completely pointless to what Sora needed to do to gain the power awakening. Now don't get me wrong, I enjoyed playing in those worlds, but at the end of the day, they didn't help him get the power awakening back. The only thing that made him get the power awakening back was Ventus telling Sora, "It never actually left you. It's just been asleep." Now honestly, this was a cliche. I wish it could have gone a different route, but they did it because they had to get that gets the last Guardian that we needed to fight in the last war. Again, I really wish it had gone a different way, but this is the first reason why Kingdom Hearts 3 might have been a little bit disappointing for some people, and I understand it. This one is really short. Number 2, the black box. Now, I think this is pretty clear and self-explanatory. In Kingdom Hearts 3 Union Cross back cover, Lucia was revealed to be carrying on a black box. The contents in the box are unknown to at least the players. However, people are under the impression that Kingdom Hearts 3 would be where we would learn what's in the box. Now, the fact that we didn't get much about the box, other than the fact that people were looking for it, might have been a really big reason why people were disappointed. Honestly, I thought this was the game where we would be revealed too. But the fact that it's going to be carried along a little longer, I guess it's another way of milking the game. So I'm fine with that. And that's why another reason why Kingdom Hearts 3 might have been disappointing, the black box. Number 3, the Kingdom Hearts original worlds. So in the game, there are about 7 Kingdom Hearts original worlds. At least worlds that we get to see. Those worlds are Twilight Town, Ithsid Tower, the Dark Realm, Destiny Islands, Radiant Garden, Skyline Kylum, and the Cubic Graveyard. I'm gonna be 100% fair here. The Cubic Graveyard met my expectations and gave me a little bit more. I figured it would just be a small area where you get to just wander around, roam around a little bit, fight some hurts or inverts that appear in some tornado, like in Birth by Sleep. But no, it wasn't that. You actually got an entire labyrinth that you got to adventure around and fight the what are they called? The 13 Darknesses. I loved it. Cubic Graveyard met my hype and gave me a little bit more. But the other 6 worlds were where we got little to no game time in were completely disappointing. Scala, we get to walk around a small region, after which the final sequence begins. Now this really bothered me because I figured we were gonna get to walk around Scala and Kylum, maybe look into the water, go around the island, not have to do anything. Maybe get to talk to some people that lived in the area, maybe some stars. I don't know. but we didn't get that. Twilight Town, they managed to remove the inside of the Haunted Mansion. The usual spot and the train station, those are all gone. And for whatever reason, I don't know, because those spots were actually really, how do I say, they were really important to the crew that was in Twilight Town during Kingdom Hearts 2, so I figured we'd get to see them again. But no, they're just all chilling in the town or in the plaza area. Now, for some reason, we couldn't get to go to Jensen's Tower, but I'm guessing that's because in Twilight Town they removed the train station, so we technically had no way of getting there other than the fact that we had a gummy ship, so we could have flown there. So there's actually no reason. The other four worlds were just major blue balls. One of them was even in a trailer, and I'm talking about Jensen's Tower. Now, we didn't get any more from them, we just got to see them, and that's it, nothing more. They showed it to us, we got excited, and nothing. Now, I believe about 99% of the community thought that these worlds would be playable. The other 1% that didn't think it would be playable probably worked for Square Enix. Everyone else thought they would be playable. I'm pretty sure people that work for Square Enix were disappointed when those worlds weren't playable. But the fact remains, we couldn't play in these worlds. They just proved to be major letdown, which hopefully they fix in View. I didn't actually think that it was that bad. I just figured it was something that I could bring up because it is a big point. And that would be number 4, the secret bosses. If you think back to all the Kingdom Hearts games we've played, specifically the ones with all the secret bosses, you know what I mean. Say, this boss was too easy. I don't know if this is because all the skills we had at our disposal, or if the attack sequences were eventually just too obvious, because to me it didn't feel like the boss was giving me enough from him for me to feel like this is a difficult boss fight. So just to be clear, at the release of the video, I'm talking about Battlegate 13, which is the Dark Inferno. That's the only secret boss we have right now. We have 12 other battle gates, but those battle gates don't have anything that I guess you could deem as secret bosses. You get to fight a dinosaur again. You get to fight those giant mask rock throwing things. I'm gonna learn the name of these for the next video, so I don't sound stupid just calling them by what they are. So again, this game I'm talking about Battlegate 13, the Dark Inferno. In Kingdom Hearts 1, we got Sephiroth, Mysterious Figure, Kurt Zissa. There are other ones. There's Ice Titan and Phantom, but I think those two weren't on that level of difficulty where I feel like I should mention them. You could honestly fly around and beat Phantom easy. Ice Titan is just block. The other 3 actually involved some effort on your part to beat. The bosses that I am talking about today are the bosses where at a low level you fight them and you're just like, this is completely pointless. I have no reason to fight them because I can't beat them at this level. And I know that they're level 1, people that play at level 1 and run through the game, but for us average players, those high level bosses, that's what a secret boss should be. Another example would be Birth by Sleep. We had the Mysterious Figure and Lingering Spirit. And now, okay, I want to be 100% clear here. When I'm talking about the Birth by Sleep game, what I did is, when I played the game the first time, I played it with Terra, and Terra was my favorite character. I beat all the bosses with him, which was difficult. If you played as Terra, you know that his dodges don't dodge anything. Aqua and Ven, they have a dodge that can dodge anything, apparently. So, when I actually learned about this, I just started using Aqua and Ven more because it made the battles easier, but when I'm talking about the difficulty of secret bosses, in Birth by Sleep, I am talking about Terra. Lingering Will, I could never understand what his attack sequence was. There was always some variety, and you know, he had this invincible phase, and then there was a small, tiny 1 second frame where you get to hit him and start your combo. Other than that, you don't get to do much. And I know there are people that spam attacks, but I like to avoid that. On that note, let's get to Julius. Now, I was playing Kingdom Hearts 3D for the first time when I was trying to speed through the games before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I decided to fight Julius to get the Tomo weapon. Now the thing is, I don't like spamming attacks on bosses. Julius, I was like, you know what, forget this. I'm not going to be able to beat this game and fight this time if I don't do the spam. basically dodge around with Sora or Riku and just use the balloon and you'll beat him easy. I don't like doing it, but I had to do it for these bosses because this is what a secret boss should be. Dark Inferno had no variety in my opinion. Now the first phase, it's basic attacks. I expect it. The first phase is the easy phase. You just kind of walk around and you get to wreck the boss as much as you want. Dark Inferno, his first phase you get to wreck him easy. Second phase, he does the same thing. It's just he combo cancels and then he dashes away, or he combo cancels and then he does another combo. I think that doesn't do much for me. But the third phase, I will admit, that was interesting. He strings attacks like it's his job. That was awesome. That was a good thing. If he did that throughout the entire fight, I might deem him as a good secret boss, but he didn't do it through the entire fight. It was kind of annoying how he did the same thing. He had so many openings, I could exploit them just with throwing Blizzard or Thunder and then dashing towards him. It was kind of annoying. Phase 2 involved no effort. Phase 1 involved no effort. Phase 3 involved quite some effort. If you look at my videos, you know how much effort I put in to fight that boss. This is one of the other reasons that I think Kingdom Hearts 3 was disappointing, because we don't have a good secret boss. It's going to be the shortest one. Kairi. What more do I have to say? What more do I have to say about Kairi? You all know she was disappointing. During the fight against Saïx and Xion, she died so much. Donald is more useful than her. At least Donald killed Terranort. I have never seen such an awesome display of magic in my life. Donald completely destroys this guy, and we're all like, oh nice, Donald saved us all. Oh shit. Devil Tide or Demon's Tide. I think in Japanese it's called Devil's Tide, but anyways. Kairi proceeds to get kidnapped during the Saïx and Xion fight. And she dies. She dies and Sora has to go save her. And then Sora dies. He goes to save her Urs and he dies. You know what? Like I said, this is the shortest one. This is obvious. Kairi. This one might be a little bit more of a blindside because I'm actually not sure anyone really didn't like this, but I feel like some people out there probably didn't like it, and I'm gonna go over this. The organization battles. Now don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the way it was laid out. Instead of it being a basic 1 versus 1 fight, we got a 2 versus 2, a 2 versus 3, a 3 versus 2. And the one that amazes me the most, absolute, is a 3 versus 1. Saïx by himself stands up against Sora, Xion, and Roxas. It might as well also be Axel, because if anything happened to those three, Axel would have popped in and whooped Saïx. I'm gonna watch the words I use. Now, you could say that technically Xehanort fought 3 versus 1, but I'm not gonna give anyone that Xemnas, Ansem, and Young Xehanort are all Xehanort, so it's just one person technically. No, they're all 4 different bodies on a battlefield. That was technically a 4v3 because, or excuse me, a 3v4 because Xemnas or Xehanort decided to throw Keybase at you while you're dodging around and being laser sliced by Xemnas, time stopped by Young Xehanort, and I don't even know what Ansem was doing, but it was really boss. Anyways, before I get off point, I just honestly think that the 13, they were nerfed. Think back to Kingdom Hearts 2. Imagine you fought Xemnas at the level that he was with his final form, also at the same time fighting Ansem and Young Xehanort. I think that would have been a better, more interesting fight. Instead, we have these nerfed versions, and it made the game feel a little bit too easy. And I'm talking about even in critical mode and in proud mode. Those boss battles just, they didn't feel like they lived up to their hype. And again, I'm talking about boss battles where I'm just thinking, I need to come up with a strategy instead of my regular mash X and press Cure when I really need it. That's the strategy that I used and I won. I don't really enjoy playing through it like that, but if it works, it works. I didn't really need a good strategy to fight them. The other thing that really bothered me, you're playing as Sora the entire time, fighting all of these bosses and everything, and then Riku says, "Took you long enough." You literally sit there and help him get his replica for his boo. By the way, I'm talking about Namine, Namaku, or is it Rikune? Tell me what the ship name is there. Anyways, so we help him get his replica. We help everyone else reunite with their loved ones, and he has the audacity to say, "Took you long enough." And I guess adding on to that, it does really bother me that we play as Sora the entire time, because think about it. We're playing as Sora, and we have 10 Guardians of Light. Why aren't we able to use one of the other 10 Guardians to fight the 13 Darknesses? We've used the other characters before. I feel like it's just kind of... It just kind of sucks that we don't get to explore the other characters in this new game. I guess the one other thing that bothers me is the fact that everyone is useless. Excuse my voice there, it kind of got higher, but everyone is useless. Except for Roxas. Watch Roxas's health during the Saïx fight. It never goes down. If it goes down, he brings it up himself. He never dies. He's the one that takes on Saïx and whoops him. I do some damage, but not as much as he does. Everyone else takes 1 hit, or excuse me. If I remember right, it's 3 hits. I watched Aqua take 3 hits and die. I watched Riku take 2 hits actually and die. That bothers me. I wish our party was more useful in these fights. I guess that's it for this one. I would be shocked if we didn't expect this to be on here. That is number 7, the lack of clarity. I know that lack of clarity is something that is pretty famous in the Kingdom Hearts games. It's not 100% clear all the time, and I'm hoping that the DLC actually goes over some of the topics I'm going to go over, but I want to make sure that I go over this, at least for this specific game. So my first issue is Namine. So correct me if I'm wrong, in order to bring someone back, for lack of a better term, bring someone back, you need a vessel, a heart, and a connection. She might have had the connection, she might have had the vessel, but how did she get the heart? Kairi was cut. Kairi was cut like butter. It was nice and easy for Xehanort. Xehanort felt no strain when he did it, he just went right through her. Watch the scene again. Make a compilation of it. Make videos of her getting cut every single time. You will see that Xehanort probably put no effort into it. That's one of the things that confuses me. Namine. The other thing is Xion. Her memory should have been completely lost, and I'm thinking that it might be clear through the 3D when they were in the dream realm. They might have seen her there, so they might have brought her back because they're remembering her face from Sora's dreams. But that's not 100% clear right now. I think they're going to make it clear later that they saw her, so they decided to start bringing her back. We'll see what they do with that. But as of right now, I'm not 100% clear on how Xion got back, and now people started remembering her, because her memory should have been wiped from everyone, even Axel. Axel had no reason to remember her face, or remember her entire name. But it looked like the way that they were remembering Xion was slow and progressive, like the way people started remembering Sora. It was slow and progressive. Now, the difference is people started remembering Sora's name and then his face. In this one, people start remembering Xion's face, or Axel at least, remembered Xion's face, and then her name, at the end of the day. Never actually remembered her name early. The other thing is the 13 Darknesses. This one bothers me the most. After going through the entire thing where we were all wondering, is Aqua a Nort, or is she seduced by darkness? And a lot of YouTubers thought it was Aquanort, but as of right now, the game is out. Aqua was not a Nort. She was just seduced by darkness. That's all it is. Now, my issue with this entire Nort thing is, what's the point of it? You don't need that part of the story to be there. Think about it. You need 13 Darknesses to clash with 7 Knights. The 13 Darknesses don't have to necessarily be Xehanorts. I don't think that that's needed. It's not clear why we need everyone to be Xehanort in order for Xehanort to become the GOAT that he was at the end of the game. So I just want this to be clear. Why did we need everyone to become? Why do we need the 13 Darknesses to be Xehanort? That's not clear to me right now. So this next one is something that I feel should be a big point, and that's the final boss battle. Now, to me, the final boss battle felt nothing like the final boss battle, and that could be because I've played Kingdom Hearts Final Fantasy games where you have the boss in his normal form, and then you get the boss in his second phase form where he's some giant apocalyptic monster and he just tries gouging you, like destroying you. And then you have your third phase where you're fighting the boss in the true boss phase where he's just convoying you left and right. You have nothing to do. I'm going to use a boss in Final Fantasy for an example. Literally uses Viagra, triple Viagra, which is cheating because you can't use a turn to use 3 fire moves at the same time after using 1 fire move. And then he uses fire again. Total 5 turns before you got to use your next move, and you have 3 characters there. That's annoying. Anyways, I didn't feel like this boss battle, comparing it to Kingdom Hearts games, was an actual boss battle. I didn't get those phases in the battles. So technically, yes, we did get those different phases, but to me, it got easier as we went. We got the 13 Darknesses, and then we got the GOAT Xehanort, and then we got the Keylade Xehanort. GOAT Xehanort has no hurt, so these are all small boss battles where the moveset is completely, in my opinion, completely underwhelming, and I feel like they could have done more with this final boss. There was just nothing there. All we got to do in this game was find out who's the strongest on land, sea, and sky. And if you watch One Piece, I'm gonna say this now. Sora is Kaido confirmed. 1 versus 1, he can beat anyone. He's the strongest on land, sea, and sky, until he died saving Harry. Sora is Kaido's son without the immortality. This is one that I think is really important. It's not top of the charts, but it's at least top 10 for me. And that is number 9, the Game Link. Now, this is a really big thing. Yes, they made the world significantly bigger to the point where you got to explore the worlds and you didn't have to go through a load screen every second. Yes, they added so many enemies that you had fun throwing them around like the ragdolls they are. Yes, Critical Mode brought the intensity to the game that it lacked in the initial release. This doesn't make up for how long the game is. Now, I mentioned this in my previous video, but the amount of time that I got to actually play the game felt a lot short, felt overwhelmingly shorter than the amount of time I got to actually fight. The cutscenes overwhelmed the gameplay. In my opinion, this is going to vary depending on how you play the game. I watched the cutscenes the first time, the second time I just played through the game, finished within 18 hours I think. Now, each time you get into a cutscene, it feels like you are there for 15 minutes, and then you get to do a battle or something, and then you have to watch another 15-minute cutscene, and then you get to train or something, and then it's another 15 to 30-minute cutscene. You see what I mean? It feels like it's all leading towards the cutscenes. Now, this only gets worse when you beat the what's called San Francisco. When you beat San Francisco, what happens is you get through the longest set of cutscenes I've ever had in my life. You first start off with a cutscene that leads you into fighting Aqua or Anti-Aqua, and then you get another cutscene that leads you into fighting Vanitas, and then you get another cutscene that leads you back into your Gummy Ship. I think in total these cutscenes were around 45 minutes, and that was really overwhelming for me. I feel like they could have done more for this, but I don't know. And honestly, I checked online earlier, and I think they said the game was around 11 to 12 hours of cutscenes. So I could be wrong when I say that the game was overwhelming with the cutscenes, but it just kind of felt like it was too much. Now, one important note that I have here is that I didn't recognize this as I wrote this, but you have Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. These games don't only have cutscenes. You actually have people being voiced by text. So I think me recognizing the cutscenes and the text is just not there right now. So it could feel like the game, like Kingdom Hearts 3's cutscenes were longer, but Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2's cutscenes might have been overwhelmingly longer. It's just the text cutscenes were just not. They didn't feel like much because you're actually pressing something instead of just watching things happen. Hopefully they change the ratio of gameplay to cutscenes. So these last three actually took me some time to come up with. I actually didn't even have them in mind before I even wrote the script. Numbers 8, 9, and 10, they are new to me. But the second I got to number 10, I thought to myself and I realized, yeah, this should definitely be on the list. And that is number 10, the Guardians of Light. Now, don't get me wrong, I agree with everyone. The Guardians of Light, I like them. They're my favorite characters. As fighters though, they're so disappointing. And after going through the entire game, you would think that they would have something like good and fresh, but no. I mean, yeah, they had some fresh new moves, and you'd think that they would be strong, but they're not. Let's go through this. Before Keyblade Graveyard, what happens? You have Sora going through the Disney Worlds, Pixar Worlds training, right? He looks really good. But this is against Father Heartlesses compared to the 13. Before Keyblade Graveyard, what's Riku and Mickey doing? They're thoroughly getting wrecked in the Realm of Darkness. Thoroughly. Lee and Kairi have unlimited time, yet they still don't finish their training, and I'm gonna get to that in a few seconds. Just bear with me. When you get to Keyblade Graveyard, what happens? Terranord comes in and he says, before you even face the 13, you'll be torn apart. Root and stem. I might be taking that root and stem part from another anime or from some other game, but that's basically what he said, and that's what he did. He manhandled us before we fought the 13. We didn't fight them, and he destroyed us. Let's start with Ventus and Axel, or Ventus and Lee, however you want to call them. What happens? Ventus gets Speed Blitz. Ventus, he's a speed specialist. He gets Speed Blitzed by Terra, a power specialist. Let me be clear, Terranord. Maybe some enhancement happened there, maybe he gets faster, but either way, there's no reason that Ventus should be getting Speed Blitzed. Lee, it's not even his fault. We're gonna go back to blaming Kairi because I don't like how Kairi did in this game, so I'm gonna blame her for what happened to Lee. Kairi is the reason that Sora almost gets wrecked, and she's the reason that Lee gets wrecked. He gets hit through 5 rocks or something. No one's getting up from that. I don't think they gave them superpowers. When they get hit through 5 rocks, they are done. I guess Sora did fly and was grabbed in the face and thrown on the ground, but that's besides the point. The thing that bothers me the most from this is Riku and Mickey. They're just sitting there watching all of this happen. They were supposed to be top-notch Keyblade wielders. They're supposed to be the best of the best. We trust them with our lives. And you know what they do? They just watch. They just watch us all die. Well, I guess Riku does something at the end, but Mickey actually does nothing the entire time. He's supposed to be like Disney's representative. Disney's representative watched us all die as he cried for Donald. And Mickey would probably sing each other's eyes or something. That's probably what they do in every Kingdom Hearts game. They just stare at each other. You know what? All the people that are Riku and Mickey shippers, it's confirmed. Miku or Ricky, whichever one it is, I am confirming it right now. Sora. After 8 worlds, after 8 Disney and Pixar worlds, and a 1,000 to 10,000 plus Heartless battle, he still got toyed with. He looked better in Kingdom Hearts 2, he got toyed with less in Kingdom Hearts 2, but here he got completely toyed with. Aqua spent nearly a decade plus fighting in darkness, and she had nothing to show for it. She fought in darkness for nearly a decade plus and had nothing to show for it. She couldn't do anything. When Terra speed blitzed Ven. She literally watched. She has this barrier that's supposed to defend everything, but she could not defend Terranoid's attack because she couldn't see it, because she got speed blitzed, because there was no fast Heartlesses in the realm of darkness. She wasn't prepared. Somehow. And the thing that bothers me the most is the fact that she watched. No, she gave up. The Demon Tide comes in that big hurricane form. I think it's still a Demon Tide. She watches and just drops her Keyblade. After going through the realm of darkness, you would think she would have a little bit more fire in her. She wants to protect her friends, but no, she drops her Keyblade and just gives up. That really bothered me. After standing up to Vanitas, that was just not her best showing at all. I wish there was more from her. The MVP for all of this is literally Donald. Make me think otherwise. Make me think otherwise, please. Not only did he release some magic that was crazy beyond anything we have ever seen in any Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy game, he clutched out a Cure or a Phoenix Down, I don't know what it is, at the end of the game, where he saves Sora and then brings him back to do that Trinity thing. Donald is the most clutch character. He is the MVP of this game. Please, make me think otherwise. He's the strongest character in this game. Confirmed. Mickey has nothing on him. Speaking of Mickey, I know I already talked about Mickey and Riku together, but now let's talk about them individually. Let's say for some reason Sora didn't make it to where Mickey was. I think this is how it would have happened. I think Marluxia would have cut Mickey up, and then Luxia would have put all the pieces in his card. You know what would have happened after that? We would then have a really nice Exodia, or as we would call it, Micodia or something. Essentially, this card will have the right hand of Mickey, the left hand of Mickey, and so on. I think you guys get it if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Riku. He has trouble beating himself and a nerf to Xigbar. And then he has the guts to say, took you long enough. I'm just saying, he has no right to say that. Absolutely no right. Aqua, Ven, and Sora. They literally get manhandled by Terranoid. The only reason they survived is because Terra pulled some crazy, my will is stronger than your will. My heart is stronger than your heart. My friends need me. I'm going to save them. He needed to pull that in order to save all of his friends. If that didn't happen, I'm pretty sure it'd have a really nice Aqua and Ventus pancake on the floor in the Keyblade graveyard. And again, that sucks because number one wife would have been dead. I'm happy that Terra saved him. But after going through everything that they've gone through, the only person that had an excuse is Ventus because he was asleep for 10 years. Someone managed to retain the same shape though, because time flows differently. Honestly, I kinda want to see the sequence where Aqua, Mickey, and Riku wanted to fight Xehanort. That should have happened. I wanted to see what would have happened. After everything that I've said, I am 100% sure they would have all lost. They needed me to press X in order to beat Xehanort. There was nothing else I was going to do it. I promise you. I can guarantee it now. Okay. I'm going to cool down a little bit. Sorry about the mini rant. I had to do it. Okay. Anyways. The point is, the Guardians of Light, they were not that impressive at all. They were really disappointing when it came down to it at the Keyblade Graveyard, and I kind of wish that we got to see more from them. At least a little bit more action, you know? maybe some cutscenes, because what was it? The Birth by Sleep cutscenes when you first get to the Keeley Graveyard. That at least made me think that I played the game and I feel like some progression happened. This made me feel like nothing happened throughout the entire game, and Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora could have come here and just whooped Xehanort. I don't know how this went from the top 10 reasons people thought the game was disappointing to the top 10 reasons I thought the game was disappointing. Now, again, I love Kingdom Hearts. I've played almost every game. The only one that I haven't played is Recoded, and for obvious reasons. But, oh gosh. My next video will be the top 10 reasons why Kingdom Hearts 3 was really impressive. And I'll make sure to make this one not too long compared to this one, but you know, normally rants are probably going to go on a little bit longer than when you're saying nice things about someone or something, right? Anyways, if you like anything that I had to say, hit that like button. If you're looking forward to more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you don't know something about me, look at the top of the screen on the tab slot. Press the X button and close the tab. That's it, nothing else. Don't even come back to the video. Anyways, that will do it. This video was top 10 reasons Kingdom Hearts 3 is disappointing. This is Black Slice, signing out. You guys can't tell, but there was a wink there. Always will be.